Hey there guys, in this video I'll be showing off the Cassowar, probably my most favorite melee weapon in the game. I love it. I rarely ever take it off, maybe when I'm testing other melee weapons to see if I like them, but the Cassowar, amazing. I've been using it since like Master Rank 6, and I'm like Master Rank 11 now, so I've been using it for a very long time. Or, I don't know, whenever I was able to get it from whatever, I think I got it when I was able to get it at whatever Master Rank you unlock it at, so I've been using it for a while, so yeah. And as you can see in my background, it's changed a little bit from the ship, the ship you stay in. And as you can see, I'm in the simulation, and I've just finally after ages actually unlocked it. And now I'll be doing most of my builds here, and showing off this area. And it's pretty good because now I can actually show off how the weapons actually work, how they fire, how they interact with just most enemies, and I'll be showing that off. And yeah, it would be very good. I could be able to show off most of my how weapons basically work. So yeah, and also just quickly gonna say before I get in the video, I'll probably put in like a time stamp, or where if you want to skip ahead, you can skip this part if you want to. So yeah, but I was just gonna say I will be using arrowed heavy gunners for all my tests. They'll be basically every single video I'll be using arrowed heavy gunners for my build videos, because they'll be my test guinea pigs. One, because you kind of need a baseline when you're testing things to show off like how good they are compared to other things. And I thought arrowed heavy gunners would be pretty good, one, because I have nothing else to really use, and you're gonna be interacting with a lot of arrowed heavy gunners. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. And also, what I was gonna say, I'm also gonna use 5 of them in every single video. So yeah, and let's actually get into the build itself of the Cassowar. So here's the Cassowar right here. So look at it. So yeah, as you can see, this is a pretty simple build. As you can see here, this is supposed to be very simple build for for beginners. So yeah, and as you can see, it's very easy. I haven't really changed this that much. I think I first built this this build like this. Pretty much it hasn't changed since Master Rank 8. So a lot of these are very easy to get. I've had them for ages. I use them all the time when I'm building, making builds for weapons. So yeah, and so it's pretty simple. And let's get into it. So as you can see up here, we have the attack speed, which is 152, which has been influenced by Fury. Again, you don't have to put Fury on. You can probably put other mods on if you want to. I just like having Fury on because Fury, I just like having an increase in attack speed, because I can't stand extremely slow weapons. Now, I'm not saying this weapon's slow. I'm saying I would prefer it to go really fast, and I would prefer it to go a lot faster. I just prefer just fast melee weapons. That's why I put Fury on, because I can't stand it, and I just love having speed. Now, you don't have to do it yourself. This is one of the mods where you don't really need it. It's just there for personal preferences, but you can change it or take it off if you so want to with something else. Maybe maybe something like Blood Rush or something like that. Yeah, so pretty much it. So then we have channeling, channeling cost, channeling damage. I never use channeling. I never use that that kind of mechanic. I never ever use it, because most of the time I never have my melee weapon. I never have my melee weapon, the weapon I have out. I usually have it with a weapon or like a gun, and I'll be shooting with that. And then when I'll need to use melee, I'll pull my melee out. So I never use channeling. Sorry. And then we have crit chance and crit multiplier. I haven't really done anything with crit on this build. You can if you want to. I might put a crit build later in this video, but again, I've always found that having like secondary elements or elemental damage is a lot more effective in most gameplay. Some weapons are a little different, where like you want to build for crit, you want to build for other things. But for this, I've found that for the Cassowar, having just a lot of status abilities, a lot of secondary elements is very good. And I'll get to that into later in the video. So yeah. Then we have damage block. Again, I don't really use block that much at all. So yeah. Then we have leap attacks. Extremely high, but again, never use it. I don't really use leap attacks. It's not really my kind of playstyle when you use melee weapons, especially with the Cassowar, because the Cassowar is it's a spinning weapon. You want to spin around with this weapon. It's very good for spinning. And you just really want to do that, which I'll also get into soon, which is actually we'll get to now. Spinning attack, also very high. That's very good. The spinning attack, very vital to how I use this weapon. Because this weapon, as you can see with the combos up here, if you go to the combos, we can see Cyclone Strike, which is during knee slide, press E, which basically makes it. Actually, I'll just show you quickly. If you press Control, which on most normal key bindings is going to be Control for crouching, you just basically slide and then press E and you just spin attack like that. Now that is probably the best way in my opinion. You could find other ways to use this weapon, but in my opinion, it is the best way to use this weapon. It is very effective. You do extra damage when using the spin attack, and it's just very effective. And also you go a lot faster. You can just jump between enemies and just kill groups of enemies a lot more quicker. So the spin attack is a lot more important to me. But again, if you're upgrading spin attack, you're also got upgrading leap attack, because you know if you see them take this off, they all go down. So again, it doesn't really matter. So you can't really mod for one or the other, as I've seen with the mods I have now, especially for a beginner. So I don't know in higher play if you are able to mod for it, but if you are a higher player and you do want to mod for spin attack, I would recommend that. I would recommend modding for leap attack, because this weapon is a lot more better when using spin attack. Oh, also I forgot to mention why leap attack is a lot more better than spin attack. Spin attack you can do it a lot more, and leap attack's kind of just like when you're running into a group of enemies, you basically jump and then press E straight away, and then you go straight through them. Again, you're not going to be doing that a lot of the time, so spin attack is a lot more effective and a lot more better. So yeah, just also going to say that. Then we have the damages, high impact, high puncture, and what makes this weapon so good, high slash, which you know probably will change in the next update for the new weapon damage update. I don't know if that's out yet. Probably not. I still see slash being really good, but when that comes out, slash, unless they're going to change it, slash is probably going to be nerfed. So let's hope it doesn't happen, because slash is really good, and if a weapon has high slash, you know it's gonna be really good. So yeah, so we got a high slash. Then we have pretty high corrosive, 277, and really high blast, which normally doesn't happen, because most weapons, if you've seen my build videos before, I like to build so that that corrosive is higher than blast, because blast, when I do use it on weapons, it's not my main secondary element. I usually go for corrosive, but for this weapon specifically, I don't want to do that. One, because this weapon is I like to use it as a because let me rephrase that. Because it's a melee weapon, you're going to be going into enemies really in close range, so it's good to knock over the enemies a lot. And that's what blast does, because if you proc blast, it basically knocks over the enemies, and knocks over any enemy in a small radius. I don't know how big the radius is. Also gets knocked over, which I will show when I actually get into killing some enemies later in the video. So yeah, and you know blast is very good. You know, it does extra damage. I forget which what extra damage it does, but I'm pretty sure it does extra damage to Grenier, and I'm pretty sure it does a little extra damage to some corrosive. Not as much as compared to Grenier. So yeah, and again, you in higher play, you want to be using you want to be building weapons so it damages Grenier more, because most of the time you're going to be meeting Grenier with higher with basically high. Most of the higher level enemies you're going to be meeting are going to be Grenier. So yeah, and same with corrosive. Amazing mod, really good for damage. If you want to increase the damage of a weapon, corrosive, you want to put that on, and also the proc is very good as well. You know, the effect is what I mean. It is very good. And I'll put a link to the video. I'll probably put one every single video to why corrosive is good, because I'm not good at explaining what corrosive does, what its effect is, and I'll put a link to it because he explains it really well. So I'll put that into the video as well if you want to see that. So yeah. And let's actually go and have a look at the mods here. So we'll have a look at the combo we have here, or wait, I mean the stance. I can't even forget names of these, which is shimmering blight. Again, very good combo. I think it's better than when compared to bleeding willow. One, because you know if you it matches the symbol here, so you're going to be getting extra capacity for your mod, so I like to have it on here. But again, I still think this is better. I like this a lot more, one, because it has a lot more emphasis on spinning, so I like, and as I said before, spinning very good for this weapon, very important. It's very good to spin for this weapon. That's what it's pretty much made for. Actually, it was a spinning weapon when it was made. That's how it was designed, to be a spinning weapon. So yeah. And if you don't have this weapon, I will be putting, if you on PC, I don't have this on Xbox or PS4. So, but if you're on PC, and if you contact me, I'll put my my gamer tag into the description before, and you can you can get these for free, because again they're not that rare. But if you do want one now, I'll give you some for free, because I have 3. They're very limited, and if you do want it, I'll give you one for free. So yeah. And then we got the actual mods of this. So we got pressure point. Again, it's pretty much like Separation, good for pretty much every single melee build, every single melee weapon build. Don't really need to talk about it. It's just really good. And if you have primed, even better. But again, if you're a beginner player, you're most likely not going to have prime leveled up to a point where it's going to be better than melee damage. Then we got reach. Again, reach, very good, very good mod as well. Basically reach or range, basically gives you extra range, which basically means you can be killing more enemies or damaging more enemies in a bigger radius. So very good, very good. I would put it on most weapons. Then we got Fever Strike and Shocking Touch. The reason I put these together is because they both make corrosive, and corrosive is pretty much its own thing. And so basically, and as you can see, the combination for corrosive is toxin and electricity. So that's what I need them for. Brings me around to a pretty good 277. Actually, thinking about that, if you do have the golden version of this, whatever it's called, I forget the name of it. But if you basically have the rare version of one of these mods where it basically has, like saying for the gold, like the rare version of Fever Strike where it has toxin, but also status chance. If you don't really want Fury on, you could probably switch it out with either the toxin version of this or the electricity version of this. You could do that as well, increasing the corrosive damage to around probably 323 as well. Oh, actually no, it would probably increase it to more, because it increases to 60, and this is probably, yes, it's like 120, 90, yeah, it'll probably be more. So that would be really good if you want to make this a beefy weapon. But again, I don't have it, and again, like I said before, it's kind of a preference thing. I like attack speed. So yeah. Then we have these 3 down here, which both increase blast. These 2 right here, very important. They increase status chance. So pretty much, your enemies is going to be on the ground constantly. It's very good. Again, I forgot to mention this before. Blast. It literally makes it so that it also helps the enemy. Sorry, that's another thing I forgot to mention. Blast is very good for helping your enemies, because saying if you have over to you're protecting your point, you see enemies over the right, they're coming, the heavy gunners, they're going to absolutely melt your teammates. You can just run over there, melee them, try and take them out, even if you're not doing that much damage onto the enemies, you're still pushing them down and allowing your teammates to either come over and help you, or allow them to heal up and move away and do other stuff while you're knocking them down, because you're going to be knocking them down so much with the status chance increase. And again, another thing you probably do instead of Fury is probably a status chance increase. But again, the only status chance I can see, I don't know where exactly is though. Oh, right here, this one, melee prowess, only gives you 15%, and when compared to 60%, it's pretty much nothing. It probably adds, I don't know. Let's see how much it adds. It adds to about 65%, 65.8% actually, which again isn't really that much. So I would keep this if I was you. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the build. Now I'm just gonna say, right, this one right here, I would, if you were to form this, I would take this out. One, because if you're going to do a build with anything else other than blast, you're pretty much going to be disadvantaged, because as you can see, if you don't have a matching symbol, for so that you see the symbol right here in the corner, these symbols right here, you can't really point to them, right next to the capacity, how much capacity it takes. It's basically going to take even more capacity than it normally would, and that's bad. It's really bad. And so I would recommend, if you are going to form this, I would switch this out. But again, only if you're going to do a build different from this, like a build where you probably focus on capacity. I mean critical chance or something like that, or this on critical damage. I would recommend taking this out, because as you can see, the only I can't say. I'm sorry, I'm really bad with names. Only variant symbols are these, and a lot of them aren't really that useful, except for North Wind if you're doing a blast build or something with cold in it. So I would recommend switching that if you're planning on doing any other build. Sorry about that in the corner. I can't really do anything about that. Oh, you guys can't see it. Huh, cool. Oh, yeah, sorry, there was a notification popped up, and I apparently you can't see it because I looked over onto my other screen. So the recording, you guys can see it, but I know. And so yeah, let's actually go in and actually show off this weapon. Now, I forgot to mention one thing before. I might not do this with every single one because maybe some weapons aren't as powerful as compared to others, but most of the time I'm probably gonna put it to level 85. One, because that's the highest I can put it at, so it's probably the highest I can do. So, and again, for beginner players, the highest stuff you're gonna do is probably sorties. So again, it's not really gonna matter. So I can put 5 enemies up. I'm gonna run at them. So you swish at them. Now, as you can see, I've done a lot of testing before I actually start recording this video. So yeah. So what we're going to do is as I said before, you're going to start spinning. Now, the other thing you can do is probably do this and do like a leap attack, as I mentioned before, and that's going to do extra damage if you so want to. But again, I think starting off with a spin attack would probably be better as a weapon, as spin attacks do give more of an extra damage than a leap attack. So yeah, we'll start with that. So as you can see, just spin around continuously, and you should kill these level 85s pretty quickly. So there you go. And that was with the beginner's build, level 85s utterly destroyed. Now again, saying that, these are arid gunners, and I've gone to sorties, level 85 sorties, and I found out that gunners aren't like level 85, aren't that like they're not that armored, they're not that strong when compared to other units. A lot of like the higher units you only see in higher level plays, they're not that strong when compared to like Grenadier bombers. The health is minuscule, and to other units that is minuscule. So again, you're not going to be seeing you're not going to be killing that quickly. You won't be killing that quickly. And also, when you'll be in like high levels like that, you're going to be focusing a lot more enemies, and so you won't be able to do just straight damage onto enemies. And also, you're going to be having debuffs and buffs on you, and buffs onto the enemies, and debuffs onto them, all this kind of other external stuff happening, where you're going to basically not kill them as quickly. So seeing this and seeing me kill these enemies so quickly, don't expect it to be like that in gameplay. I can't expect it to be like that in gameplay. It wasn't, so don't expect that at all. Again, maybe once I get other units, I might start using them, like maybe bombers, because they have like some of the most health in the game. So I might start using those instead of arid gunners, heavy gunners I mean. So I don't know. Let's do this one more time, show them. Actually, and showing off the combos, I might quickly do that as well, just to make them safe. Just cover that basis as well. I'll just show him quickly off, so I'll spawn some other units right next to them so I can show them as well. So, in most gameplay, there's going to be a couple you're going to be. So, the main one, as you see before, was probably this one, where you leap spin. This is probably the most effective one, the one you're going to be using the most. The other one from that is probably this one as well, which is the base one. But one that you can do if you want to is something where the combo is EE and then you hold it. So it will be EE, then hold E, and then press it again, and then you would do like kind of spin attack. So I'll show you EE, and you hold it. Oh, I can't do it. That's weird. Actually, I'm gonna check the combos out because I was doing it before, but now I can't do it. Oh, I've messed up. Oh no. Oh, it's the middle of the gameplay. I'm so sorry, guys. Check the combo. So you can see here, it's EE, hold E, then press E. So test it out. You can see EE. Huh. I was doing it before. Okay, let's see what time there. EE. Wow. Can't be doing it now. Okay, that's kind of weird. Well, if you ever deal with the combo, I'm obviously not. Probably just like, I don't know, because I'm on camera, I can't do it, but I don't know, something like that. But if you want to check out the combo, what moves you can do, just go to the combo button here, press that, and come into here, and you can check them out if you want to. And yes, I was doing it before, but now suddenly I can't, so I don't know. But if you do want to try it out, you can probably do it if you just by doing that, but I don't know. Now, as you can see, I have Mirage or Mirage Prime on, more specifically. And there's a reason for that, and that is because this weapon, it does amazing with Mirage. Now, I'll show you that right now. So, if you don't know what Mirage does, she basically, her first ability basically does, if you're level up to level 30, basically clones about 5 of her. And you can see it's around 5. I think it's 4. I think I have a mod that increases it. I'm not 100% sure about that, but basically, it basically clones herself. And every single time you do something, they do the exact same as you. And each one of these is basically a version of you, and they all do damage onto units. So if I walk over here, and I come over here, you can see that this one's right here is doing damage to them, but I'm not there. and you basically have 5 extra versions of you. Now the difference between these ones is that these ones, I was about to run out, but these ones, they do about half, I think it's around half the damage that you are able to do. So they're not going to be as effective as you, but you're still going to be doing extra damage, and you can basically just be like a whirlstorm. It's basically just amazing. You can just see, and you just do so much damage. So as you can see, now if you the best way to come into this is probably come like this, is unit forward. So you basically get the most how to say this. Basically, you just do the most damage. I don't know. I'm not the best at words sometimes. So if you just spin in, and as you can see, I'm damaging all of them at once, as all these units are doing exactly the same as me. And now you pretty much just killed all of them because this is unbelievably fast. There we go, kill them all. So it's really good, just amazing, and it's just really good. Especially with Mirage, you will destroy enemies with Mirage. So you know, if you're going to melee only sorties, I would go in with, if you have level of Cassowar, you've put Arc and Reactor on it, I would go in with Mirage. This and Mirage, because you will just utterly melt enemies, and it's just ridiculously good. So yeah, and yeah, so I'm gonna end the video here, and I'm not really good at ending videos, so I'm just gonna end it abruptly.